when everybody was making like their Facebook images or whatever. And like it's really cool, but there's a lot of them that cost money to use, and like monthly subscriptions and stuff like that.
So there's an app called Lensa, Lensa. That was the really popular one months ago. If you remember, there was a 2-week period where Lensa had
Yeah.
the entire social media in a chokehold, and everybody. Now I didn't do this, and I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to, but I didn't do it. But there was a 2-week period where this fucking app had my entire timeline on Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram, Twitter, and everything in a chokehold, and I would just see these cool ass AI images of people, and some of them would be so fucking fire, man.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, all you got to do is download this app, start the free trial, and just get your images, cancel it, and then you're good." Right? That's pretty much what everyone was doing, because not everybody was paying for that shit. But you could obviously pay for it and do like even crazier AI art of yourself. But people were complaining, obviously, that one, that is literally my art style for some of these pictures. Like some of these pictures that you think are like original, that this app just spit out, that's literally how I do my art. Those colors, those shapes, everything about it, the background, everything, like the outline, that is how I draw. That is my art being put into this fucking Lensa app, and then spitting out images for a whole Facebook to use and a whole Instagram and all that stuff to use. And it was really fucked.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are very, because like it can even go even further. Like you can go even further with some of these apps where it's not even just the art style. You can take an actual image. Like let's say somebody just let's say some guy just makes an image of Bulma, right, or Sakura, or insert whatever your favorite anime girl is, right?
Okay.
And like they draw this anime girl, they can put it in there, and then they can use the AI to create variations of that exact image, and then they can, like everything, just make it nude or whatever, but they can do it in a way where it doesn't look shitty. And so you can take like artwork that somebody actually drew that actually exists, and then create variations on it. Or like let's say somebody draws like a really nice picture of Sasuke that you think's really fucking cool, and then you can like put it into an AI and then like get it to turn that exact picture into like a picture of Noctis. They look similar enough, probably not that hard.
They do.
You can get a really dope picture of Sasuke, make it look like Noctis, and then what ends up happening is like people start posting that and taking credit for it, saying like they did it, like, and they're taking credit for work where it's like this other guy did all the work in drawing it. You just like put it somewhere else and like made the AI make a variation to it, and then like other people are getting credit for it. There's already people making fake OnlyFans accounts, fake Patreons, using AI to like make money by creating, like I said, fake OnlyFans, Patrons, etc., and pretending as if like what they're showing is real. Like they've some of them, and unless you're really good at looking at it, have been able to make like girls that really just look like they don't look like artwork. They just look like real fucking girls.
We haven't talked about this yet, but the AI photos that are not cartoonish, that are not looking like some anime or anything, like I'm talking about real people. Like they take me, Kenny, and all of our friends, they put them into an AI thing, and they come out with a new human that looks like a splice between all of us. And it looks like an actual fucking person, okay?
Yep.
Like an actual, it'll be mixed, so they'll be black, white, Asian, whatever. They'll look like a mixed human being, but they will look like a fully realized human being that really exists, a nose, eyes, face, everything. And you can see a little bit of all of us in it. That exists, and that is creepy because I've seen these images that look like real people. There was one that was Coachella, right? Because Coachella just passed these last 2 weeks. And there are a lot of people, a lot of groups of people who take group photos with their friends, right, at Coachella. That's like obviously one of the things that everyone does. Well, there was this girl who posted, "This is me and my friends at Coachella. Here's an AI generated photo after we fed all of our group photos to it, with a completely separate group of friends that do not actually exist." And it just looked real. It was like 5 new people, and they just looked like real people at Coachella, and they don't actually exist. I was looking at an image of soulless people, and it creeped me out the longer I stared at it, because I was like, oh my God. Like,
because it looks like people that are really at Coachella, but they literally don't exist. And
they do not exist.
What people are doing is they're taking that and they're like creating OnlyFans accounts, and they're like, I think there's some cases of where like people know that it's an like AI images and they're fine with it. But from what I've read, there have been some instances of like people literally just like creating like some girl and then like trying to create OnlyFans accounts, and like that girl doesn't actually exist, but they pretend as if she is really this girl, and they have like an OnlyFans account and she posts images or whatever, and like it's a person that doesn't exist, and they're not disclosing that they don't exist until like it got found out or whatever.
Right. That's really fucked. Oh man, yeah, I'm a bit disturbed by the AI photos of actual people that look like real people. There was one that creeped me out. It was like nightmare fuel. It was another one that was it was a 90s photo of a group of black men. And it was like during the hip hop era. So they all had on like big gold chains in New York. They had on like those Kango hats or whatever, and it was just like hip hop. So they baggy clothes, everything, right? Like five black guys in New York in the Bronx during the 90s. Pretty much the peak, not the peak, but like one of the rises of hip hop culture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an AI photo taken from that, and the AI photo again looked like real people, except two things. One of the guy's hands was clearly fucked, and
Yeah,
it looked
yeah.
like it was something
That's
was
one
wrong.
thing
Like
that
the
it
AI,
still fucks up quite often is the hands.
right. So in this particular photo, because the hands were visible, it fucked up the hands, and so the guy's hands looked like mush, and it was kind of scary looking. But then there was a guy in the background of the photo, and his face was just nightmare fuel. Like
Mm.
his face was so creepy looking because it wasn't a human face anymore. It was so contorted and fucked up. The AI just, I guess, did something wrong. The five people in the foreground looked perfectly normal, like they were real black guys who existed in the 90s. There was one guy in the back behind them in the background, and he just looked scary as shit. Okay.
That's
Like
so
to
wild.
this day, I don't even want to see this image anymore because it is fucking nightmare fuel, bro. It
That's
is
wild.
nightmare fuel.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's it's interesting. Like I'd be interested in because there's funny things that it could do, and once again, like this could have repercussions that are negative on the industry, but it's
Right.
also interesting to think about. But it'd be how crazy would it be, right? If you like somebody took an AI and fed it all of the information on Yu-Gi-Oh, and you were like, all right, create a new format with 300 new cards. Like these cards don't exist. Like create a new Yu-Gi-Oh set. Looking at all of Yu-Gi-Oh, you feed it all of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and like now create like 300 new cards for like a new Yu-Gi-Oh pack, and then like to see like what cards would it come up with, what would the art be, what would the stats be, what would the effects be, like that'd be fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
I agree. Also, creating AI that is capable of beating the top players in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm.
Like
Like
it can
creating
sit
like
down.
a
It can,
dueling book AI that like plays dueling book or whatever.
yeah, you create, but I want it to be a person though. I want it to be a person that could talk like me. It's like a combination of all of the top players' brains and how they play. It like reviews all of their plays and stuff, and then it can have conversations like a real person. So draw face, name by main, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can talk to you like a real person in front of you would, and you play against it, and it's actually good. Like
Mm.
it's straight up, if not better than you, very close to being on your level. And that would be scary but also cool to see in a way. But like you said, repercussions, you never know like how far down a rabbit hole this goes. The other thing I was thinking about, Kenny, and I have this note here and I want to talk about this for a little bit. You remember Donald Sterling, the guy who was an owner of an NBA team, I
Yeah,
believe?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy, yeah, the his like girlfriend recorded him,
Yes.
and he like
She
said he like,
secretly recorded, said
yeah.
the N-word, talked about his team, called a bunch of N's and stuff like that, right?
There,
So
side note, there was a lot of funny comedians that were like, you know what, like what he said wasn't that bad. Like, first of all, 7-year-old white guy, like I already knew he was racist, but
yeah.
he wasn't really like he was just like, look, man,
Well,
you can go
there
fuck
was
all the black guys, just don't take pictures with them.
yeah, they were also saying like for the amount of money that these guys are making, you can call me a nigga too. Right? They were like for fucking 50, they were like, this man has a $50 million contract. He gets paid $50 million a year. For $50 million, you can call me a nigga all day. Like that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, I already talked about in the last episode, I'm sucking it, that I would for sure. I mean, there's things that you could do to me that are derogatory for $100 million. So
Hell yeah.
anyway, but the Donald Sterling phone call was an infamous phone call where he was saying all types of racist shit about the players that were on a team that he owns, right? And it was secretly recorded by his girlfriend. Now, back then, this AI technology, whether it existed or not, doesn't matter. It wasn't widespread and wasn't as accurate as it is now.
Hmm.
My question is, now that we're in a world where a conversation could just be fake,
Yep.
like it could, and the cancel culture and how quick people are to cancel someone for saying things. Um, I fear that this will be weaponized to create
Well,
fake conversations.
I was going to say
Oh,
there's two things that end up happening, right? Because I see where you're going. One is what you're saying right now, and maybe you were going to go to the second point too.
I am going to go to the second point. Like the people who say I got hacked.
Yeah, like exactly. So we're on the same page. One is, you know, this can be weaponized, and you could put something out and try to ruin someone's life or career or whatever, and create a completely fake conversation just because you don't like them. Like, for example, one of the most popular thing are Trump, Biden, and Obama arguing about whatever, right? But like,
Yes.
a lot of people really don't like Trump, so they could easily create a thing and say it's real of like Trump saying something crazy and like trying to get him canceled again, or like Joe Biden or whatever. But then on the other hand, let's say you really do have a conversation on voicemail and you call a bunch of people the N word and the gay F word and you start popping the fuck off, and then somebody releases that conversation, you can be like, what the fuck? Dude, what? That's fucking like, I've never said that. That's not real. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's fake, or, you know, and now, like, people that really do say crazy shit can cast the shadow of doubt and, like, try to convince people they're like, no, that was AI. That wasn't me.
Yeah, the people already lie now and say, "Oh, I was hacked." They'll write something crazy on Twitter, and then delete it, and then say, "I was hacked. I did not actually say this about a police." Like they'll say, "Like all police should die," and then that's how they really felt because there have been some new police brutality video that came out, so like Tuesday or whatever, and then they'll be like, "All police should die," and then they'll delete that because of backlash because that's just wild to say, and then they'll be like, "I was hacked. It wasn't me. I have access to my account again." And obviously they're lying, but it's like, what can you really do? Like, I don't know how far you can really go when someone's like, "Oh, it wasn't even me," and that's just gonna happen with the AI stuff, where people can just be like, "I did not have that conversation. I did not send those text messages. I did not. That wasn't me talking on that. That was an AI bot." That's definitely where things are going to start going,
Yep.
where people could just say anything and then be like, "That wasn't me. That was AI. That was an AI thing." Hey guys, if you like this clip, we have full video versions of our podcast episodes available on the I Am Nerd Patreon, as well as exclusive content.
If you'd like to listen to our full podcast episodes or find us on any other social media platforms, you can do so by clicking the link tree below.